The Florida Gators, they have also named a starting quarterback. I want to start, however, though, with the offensive line, because what have we talked about with Florida? We didn't say a word. We thought the quarterback would be just fine. Whoever the quarterback is, they'll be fine. The biggest thing that could get Florida got this year was going to be the O-line. And the second and final scrimmage, Saturday night in the Swamp, you listen to a lot of people that went and watched it. Sounds like the offensive line actually beat the defensive line, and it wasn't just the first group. The second group did so as well. Sounds like they got really good push. Sounds like they ran the football with a lot more success than they did in the first scrimmage. And the illustration was great. I mean, you hear about a redshirt freshman named Duke Clark who started the scrimmage with the second team, scored a couple touchdowns. And the first thing you hear is that the holes were massive, which is great. Now, is it an indicator? Maybe the D-line's not what we thought, perhaps. But if the biggest question has been about the offensive line and the second team offensive line is making a huge hole in the second team's defensive front, well, that's good because that was the biggest question mark we had. Now, we also know that Aaron Philo has been named the starting quarterback. And in the last week, he started to separate himself. Sounds like in the first scrimmage, maybe a little bit up and down. Second scrimmage, sounded like he was much more consistent. And while Tramell Jones does have a lot of talent, does have arm talent, can really rip the football, sounds like he's had maybe a couple questionable throws. And sounds like both kind of had their moments, and they weren't sure early in camp who was going to separate, but it eventually became Philo. And ironically, he started the Saturday scrimmage with the twos. So Summerall was named the starter on Monday. Well, the final scrimmage, he didn't take the first snap, which is fine. Like, you want to give these guys an equal chance. But Jones did throw a pick. So I am encouraged, though. I'm very encouraged. Philo has been a guy that this staff circled coming out of the portal. Buster Faulkner, the offensive coordinator, brought him with him from Georgia Tech. So you kind of knew what you were going to get with Philo. And it sounds like the last couple of days, there's been a little bit more of a separation. It's also sounding like a lot of young players are making a lot of plays. We talked about Duke Clark a moment ago. Sounds like Hayes Kent is a true freshman. He might have the best ball skills on the team. And he went up, caught some big-time plays. Sounds like Anthony Rubio is another guy. So there's some young guys that maybe we don't know as much about that are starting to pop. And they also let former players into the scrimmage. A few people that played, a while back or whatnot. And they were talking about the physicality that you're seeing from this defense, that the linebackers in particular are hitting guys hard. And that's something they're very excited to see. So you put all this together. The offensive line won the scrimmage. That's massive. A quarterback who was better and more consistent and started to separate as things went along. And young skill players that are starting to produce in situational football. So that's good. We know it's going to be a run-first outfit. They're going to be trying to protect the football. That's for sure. Protect the quarterback. That's for sure. But we know that Philo has just one career college start and sat behind Haynes King. And Haynes King went on to finish in the top 10 in the Heisman voting. So I'll be curious to see how Philo handles it. But I have a lot of reason to believe that he's going to be pretty good. If you listen to people that have watched him closely, said that he's going to be a playmaker. He can do some special things with the football. So we'll see exactly where he ends up. And he finished as one of the all-time passing leaders in the state of Georgia. He broke a school record held by Trevor Lawrence. So I don't think he's necessarily going to be throwing for 400 a game on Saturdays, but sounds like he can play. And sounds like if the offensive line in front of him plays really, really well, then this group could actually overachieve, and that's what we're forecasting. We are obviously much higher on Florida than most of the national media. We like the Gators, and we think they have a chance to be very dangerous this season.